God says, look, if you love me, keep my commandments. Right. 2 John 6. Because that shows if you love God.
I wanna be famous.
Just like when you look at the brothers' shirts around here, these fringes, it's not hard to wear. He said he gonna put curtains on them people. So, is a curtain a good thing or bad?
I just wanna love all my enemies to bow down before me. I just wanna be famous. I wanna be famous.
You wanna see the kingdom of heaven? If you wanna walk through one of those 12 gates,
just like
you gotta keep
David,
God's
riding in my
commandments.
chariot. I'm tryna rule them all, sending letters across the world to all my brothers, just like Paul. Mess with Israel, now you fall. Glorious through the Most High.
Hey guys, y'all got 5 minutes? Let's say, do y'all know y'all according to the Bible?
Yep.
Who are you? Child of God. He has a lot of them. Do you know which one you are?
Say it again. Y'all step over here.
Come close.
How y'all?
Let's say, because he has a lot of children. But do you know which one are you?
According to the tribe?
I mean, according to the Bible. Like, what's your nationality?
No, I don't know that. I'm gonna tell you why though, because I don't have the capability of tracing my lineage that far back.
I'm finna say, well, I'm gonna show you something. This is how we trace our lineage according to the Bible, because ancestry, all this stuff is man-made. So Deuteronomy 28 and 46. You know what I'm saying? So what we're gonna do today is show you how do we identify ourselves in the Bible, because this has never been taught. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show you today. Before you leave here, I want you to know who you are according to the Bible, because that's very important. It's very, very important.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So, he said, upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. If you look over there, what's that sign for? It's indicating something. So, with that being said, these curses, I'm going to read to you, these curses are upon us for a sign, to let us know who we are in the last days.
That's right.
So, we're going to go back to 15. Because we broke God's law, so we have to do something to get back. But this is how we know.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
He said all his commandments and all his statutes, which he commanded you. So, like I said, some require you.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So like I said, I'm going to go straight to it. I'm going to show you a curse, and I'm going to see if you identify with it, okay? So how do we come over here as a people?
How did we come over here?
As a people, as a whole, how do we get over here as a people?
Slave ships.
Through slave ships. Do you think that's in the Bible?
Through my studies, slavery was in the Bible, but the slavery that happened in America, I didn't read that.
Okay, I'm going to show you, because the Bible is really simple to you, but we want to show you today that it's talking about us.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said he's going to bring you into Egypt again. So the first time, you know a little history about the Bible, right? How do we get out of Egypt? Moses. But how do we get out? What was our means of getting out of Egypt?
Well, God told Moses, right? And Moses went and got him according to what the Lord had commanded.
So, but how did they get out? It was a...
They hawked.
What's the means of transportation that they got out?
Well, they came over and God with the rest.
Okay, so did they walk? Did they fly? Did they take the jump, the plane? They walked, right? So,
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
So he's saying he brought them out of the land of Egypt. So this is finna let you know what he's talking about in the other chapter.
Out of the house of bondage.
Out of what?
Out of the house of bondage.
So what is bondage? Slavery. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 6 to get a better understanding, because we never got taught the Bible precept to get the full understanding.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt
Slavery.
again
With what?
With ships.
With ships. We walked out the first time. So he's letting us know something. He's letting us know who we are according to the Bible.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
So he said the same way I said it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
That we were not going to see no more again, that was our homeland. So we say Africa is our homeland, which is kind of correct, but our homeland is Jerusalem. And we're going to get it out the Bible to show you. Because we think Africa is our homeland, but Africa is a big country.
So I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Is slavery only apply to people?
Deuteronomy 1:1. We're going to get the answer for you straight out the Bible, because I don't want to have my own words and mislead you. I'm going to come straight out the Bible and show you who the Bible we're talking to.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. Bring it out. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
All who?
All Israel.
All Israel. So these be the words that spoken to all Israel. So like I told you, upon us for a sign to let you know who you are. Who you are.
The book of Galatians chapter 4 and verse 26. But Jerusalem.
Wait, what?
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
He said Jerusalem is the mother of us all. They say Africa, but Jerusalem is our homeland.
That's right.
If you want to, okay, say it like this. If you are Chinese, where the Chinese people go if they want to leave America? The Japanese, man, where do he go if he want to leave America? Where do us as a people have to go if we want to leave America?
So you're saying we should go to Israel, right?
Where do we have to go? I'm asking the question, like, where do we have to go as a people, as a whole, as a nation of people, because we are a nation. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, according to the Bible, they are in fact the children of Israel.
That's right.
They were in fact the children of Israel. They got cursed because we broke God's commandments.
The Bible says which is above.
Above. Because, okay, like America said, they're the land of the free, right? But the Bible, the Bible says something different.
Galatians chapter 4 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
So America think they're above everybody, which is the land, they said the land of the free, the land of the brave, the land. He said Jerusalem is the land of this.
So we were talking about Jerusalem as far as heaven.
Jerusalem as far as heaven?
Yeah.
Jerusalem's over there now.
But the Bible speaks about the New Jerusalem sitting down in heaven, right on earth. That's what I was saying, right? So he's not speaking on what he talked about in the last day.
Oh, well, I want to go back to something else you said earlier. Because you said in the beginning that you can't trace your lineage, right? Okay, give me Isaiah. That right there is a direct connection showing you that you're Israelites. Because only the Israelites in the Bible, they're the only ones that cannot research their lineage because it was taken from us. Because it's just like this. If you go out here and you ask a Chinese man about his, I don't know, like great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, he can go tell you. The same thing with an Arabic man. The same thing with the so-called white man. The same thing with any nationality. They can go back and trace their lineage, not us. How far can we go back, realistically? Maybe about 3 or 4 generations. Why is that? Okay, you said technically the history is not there. Why? I'm asking this. Why is the history not there? What caused us not to be able to know where we came from and the lineage that we came from? What happened? It had to be taken away. After you read Isaiah, I want you to get that in Jeremiah 14. Wait a minute. I'm going back to the original question that you had. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. Bring it out. The ox knoweth his owner.
What's an ox? Don't question, but I need to know this animal. It's an animal. It's a cow, right? All right, read.
And the ass his master's crib.
What's an ass? It's a donkey. So it's talking about a cow and a donkey. Farm animals, right? Read that again.
The ox knoweth his owner.
The ox, the cow, knows who owns him. right?
And the ass his master's crib.
The donkey knows where he lives. Because I've always lived in the city. I don't know much about farming. But they said that if you drop a donkey off in the middle of nowhere, it'll find its way back home. Correct? All right, let's read.
But Israel,
But who?
but Israel does not know. My people does not consider.
God says, Israel, they don't know who owns them. They don't know where they come from. Neither do my people consider. They don't consider their lineage. They don't consider their heritage, where they came from. We are told one thing, and we just run with it. That's what we're out here teaching is nationality, like who you are according to the Bible, how to repent, and to keep God's laws. Because you're from this area, correct? Are God's laws, would they help this area? Absolutely. Hold that. You got that in Jeremiah? Go ahead and go to Jeremiah. Hold Jeremiah. Give me that Leviticus 19 and 11. Hey, sis, how y'all doing? Y'all doing good? All right, you got it? Read what you got.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 11.
Now, when he reads this, I want you to tell me if just this one verse, what would happen to the crime rate in just Shreveport alone? Off this one verse in the whole Bible, just one verse. Read.
Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
Now, what would happen to the crime rate in Shreveport, Louisiana, if we stopped stealing, dealing falsely with each other? That comes along with hustling and lying to one another. What would happen? Wait. What would happen to the crime rate?
No, it would considerably drop. You know, understand?
It would considerably drop. So wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. I'm going somewhere with this. That's the reason why it's important to know A, where you come from, B, who you belong to, and C, to keep God's commandments.
That's right.
Now give me that Jeremiah 14 and 2. 17? Yeah, 17.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
Look it out.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
Wait a minute. Read that again. Read it again.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
God said we would discontinue from our heritage, our lineage. We will not know who we are. Why? Read.
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
How did we serve our enemies? That's a question. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good thing that you admit, like, hey, I don't know. The reason why, because I know, how old are you? 34, so we're about the same age. In school, when you went to school, did they teach us, did they teach you about slavery?
Yeah.
So in our generation, they taught us about slavery. They don't teach that anymore, correct? Okay, so they taught us how we got out of slavery, right? Through the Emancipation Proclamation. But did they ever teach you why we went into slavery? No. Give me that in Deuteronomy.
But see, I got a question too. I know you told me how we serve the enemy, so.
No, I didn't tell you. I asked you, and
Well,
you said you didn't know.
no, you
So
asked me
now I'm
how
about to
we
answer it.
serve. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm about to answer. Because that's why I asked you to make sure that we were on the same page. All right. But you said you didn't know, right? Okay. I'm just making sure. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Go to Deuteronomy 1 and 1. We're going to see who we're talking about. Deuteronomy 1 and 1. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So these are the words that Moses spoke to the Israelites when they came out of Egypt. Y'all know that, right? Okay. Now let's read 15. Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
To what?
To do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, you're adult, so you know the word curse is a bad thing, correct? And the brother showed you earlier one of those curses, because I'm pretty sure y'all read Deuteronomy. Well, no, you said you didn't read it.
No, I've read Deuteronomy.
But you just said earlier that you didn't read that part of the Bible.
Well, no, it's not that. See,
So
like
which
I said,
is?
Well, see, I was listening to you guys, bondage to the things that we do as people. Like,
What do you mean?
a lot of us.
You said the bondage linked to the things we do as a people?
Like, this is what I mean. Like, a lot of us are in bondage to fornication, having
Okay.
sex outside of marriage.
Okay.
That's a sense of slavery to us, because a lot of us are in bondage to.
Now let me ask you this. Now you said fornication and smoking dope. Are those lawful? Can you do those according to the Bible? Yeah. Are those lawful according to the Bible?
No.
Like if you're married, is God okay with you sleeping with another man's wife? Okay, so that's a law, right? Okay. Now, if you're hooked on drugs, we'll say weed. You smoke weed. Is God okay with you getting high? No. So those are laws, correct? So we're on the same page when it comes to laws. My question is this: when I asked you, why did we go into slavery as a people? That was also your question, correct? The reason why we went into slavery as a people, the ones on this side, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the reason why we went into slavery is for doing those things that you just named. For breaking God's laws. Read what you got.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 12. Bring it out. And he had confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
Now, this is Daniel. He said he confirmed his word. This is talking about what we read in Deuteronomy, where Moses said, look, if you don't keep God's commandments, he's going to curse you. Read that part again.
Daniel chapter 9 and verse 12. And he had confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
The great evil was those curses. Read.
For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem.
So, to your question that you were talking about as far as the slavery part, because I've heard this before, where a lot of people ask, well, wait a minute, didn't the other nations go into slavery? Yeah, I want to say something like, well, like say when China, when they fell, some other nations took them into slavery. But the Bible says that nobody on the face of the planet has gone through what we have gone through according to the Bible. That's the difference. Is because when you Google like yokes of iron, for example, no other nationality has gone through the oppression that we've gone through just with the yokes of iron. Because if you Google it, whose picture comes up? It would be us. We're synonymous, or we're known for having the yokes of iron. All the slave movies are about us. They don't show slave movies with, Arabic people or white people or Chinese. It's mainly us, correct? What's your question?
You said something.
Wait a minute. You said you get it, you understand
But
it.
what I mean is, because you're proving right now, I know this is to prove who we are as a people, right? And to get back to doing the things of God. Yeah, right? So, my question is, what happened?
Deuteronomy 28, 1.
No, because this is what I mean, before you go there. We're all of the same.
Who's all of us?
Well,
You said we are all.
well, I'm saying the blacks. I'm speaking of the blacks, right? Or most of us may not. Or let's just say, can you say all of y'all are of the same language?
Us. Because just because black is basically a description.
Okay.
It's not, just because you're black doesn't mean anything.
Right. No,
Because,
so
wait. Because case in point, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Case in point, you've heard of Bob Marley. I didn't even go say Bob Marley. You've heard of Vin Diesel, right? Guy of Fast and Furious. What role does he play? When he plays parts in movies, what nationality is he playing?
Like, I don't look at what they
I'm not asking what you look at, I'm asking what nationality does he play? Just like in the movie Fast and Furious, he played what? No, nationality, bro. His sister was what? No, in the movie, his sister was an Edomite. His sister was a white woman. So that means in the movie, his nationality was a white person. So that's what I'm saying. And according to the Bible, according to his 2 or 3 generations that he went back, his father is a so-called black man. So we don't go off of skin color, we go by nationality. That's right. Just like with Bob Marley. You know who Bob Marley is, right? Bob Marley is known for being basically pro-black. But when you look the man up, his grandfather was a white man. So according to the Bible, Bob Marley would be a what? He
Or
was,
a white man.
yeah, according to his lineage. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't mean to stop you, but I just wanted to clarify that when it comes, we don't go by skin color. We go by nationality. Because there's some brothers that are with us that aren't even our complexion. They look like so-called white people. Just like this brother right here. He's cute. This brother, where he go? This brother right here, Native American Indian. And he's darker than me. And I'm so-called black. So we don't really go by skin color, we go by nationality. Now, what was your question?
So
Sorry.
my question is, like even with whatever nationality, right? According to the people of God in the Bible.
Who are the people of God?
No, see, but that's not what I'm saying.
I'm just making sure that we're on the same page, that's all.
So this is why I'm
Okay.
asking. Let's say whoever the people of God. Right? No, because see, I know what you're saying. So I'm not trying to be.
I understand you just asking questions, and I'm trying to answer them, that's all.
So I want the question asked and not the basis of my question being broken down. I just want the question asked. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say black people, you say, okay, let me show you who, or if I say the Israelites or the tribe who, and then you start to tell me about who I'm talking to, for me to clarify who I'm talking about. You just read to me in the Bible about the curses, right?
Okay.
And so my thing is, this is what I'm strictly dealing with. Just
Okay.
strictly on the people that was cursed. Regardless, and right now, I'm not in a situation where I want you to, quote unquote, prove to me who the curses were for. What I'm saying is, being that the people were cursed, and I asked you, I said, what happens if they start to keep God's commandments?
That's what we was about to read.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, if we are, if you two, I'm just speaking on if you two are the people of God, and you realize who you are, and you start to keep the commandments of God, can he still be the reason why you're cursed?
It's not him. This is the thing, this is what I want to show you. Me and him didn't come into slavery by ourselves. The God of the Bible doesn't necessarily deal with just individuals when it comes to curses and blessings. Because remember what we read in Deuteronomy. Hold that, you need Deuteronomy 1:1. Because if you remember, he was talking to Moses, but who was Moses talking to? He was talking to the people of Israel. So it's not just one person that will cause a whole nation of people to go into slavery. We came into slavery together, so how are we going to get out of slavery?
We get out together.
Together. So it has to be a collective effort on the group, on the nation, to keep God's laws. Read that again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
No, he spoke that to one or two brothers.
Unto all Israel.
So that's what I wanted to emphasize is that Moses was speaking to everybody. But I get what you're saying. It doesn't just, what we are just the beginning. Because trust me, it's not just us. We have schools all over the country. We have, 3 schools just here in Louisiana. We have 5 schools in Texas. So it's not just one group, just this group of brothers that you see that are trying to keep God's commandments. No, what I'm saying is that you have more people on a daily basis coming in wanting to keep God's commandments because of what? They're tired of the situation that they're in. And they want to do something different. Because as a people, we tried Christianity, we tried Islam, we tried marching, and none of that stuff has worked. What we haven't tried as a people is keeping God's commandments.
So my question is, say if I can grab my family, right? Prove that who we are, and we kept God's commandments. Is my salvation, so to speak, contingent on those that's around me? Like, do we have to move as a nation in order to be for me to be effective? Because here's the thing: if I realize who I was, and I understood exactly what I was supposed to do according to God, because those around me choose not to do it, right? Does it affect my relationship or my standards with the Most High?
Okay, that was like 3 or 4 questions in one. Because what you're asking is, do you basically? Let me get the basis of your question. You're asking, do your actions affect everyone around you? Okay, so that's what I'm trying to understand your question. So ask it again.
Okay, my question is, because like I said,
You said if you and your family start keeping the commandments,
right, and we start to follow God's law.
you start keeping the laws. Okay.
So what I'm saying is because I'm keeping God's law,
You start to keep God's laws.
does that because and let's say those that are around me,
What do you mean those who are around you?
the people that's those that are and
No, I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you, you said those who are around you.
let's just
If
say,
you're keeping the commandments, who are you around?
well let me say it like this. Those that are chosen by God are
Okay.
people that around me.
That are keeping the commandments.
That say they're not. Let's just say they're not. Say they're
Okay, so I guess that's what disconnected because your question is confusing me.
No,
Because
no,
if you're around people and you're keeping the commandments, why would you hang around people who are not keeping the commandments?
right, so
That kind of doesn't make sense because that's just like if
I think you're breaking down my question.
No, I'm trying to understand it because I didn't understand it. It's just like if you're a crackhead, no offense, if you're a crackhead and I'm not, why would we hang out?
Okay, well let me say it in this way. Maybe the way words I took forth weren't as correct.
Yeah, because I'm saying your question confused.
So when I say those around me, I don't mean those that I'm hanging with.
Okay.
Prime example. I would say you're around me, right? But we've never met.
Okay.
We just met, right?
Yeah.
But let's just say we are of the same lineage and we are the people of God. What I'm saying is, if I was to find out who I am, start to keep the commandments of God, you are around me because we're in the same city.
That's what I was saying before, like it's like in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what I said before.
But those, well, I didn't hear that part.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So those are God. So what I'm saying is, and you say you choose not to do things of God. Right? Do to God affect my relationship with the Most High?
No. You talking about does your disobedience affect me?
Right, yes,
Wait. That's okay. Does your disobedience affect me? In a way. I'll put it like that. Because, like I said earlier, we came into slavery how? Together. So when we get out of slavery, when we get out of here, determines on when you start keeping God's commandments. Does that make sense? Wait a minute, wait. Let me read this for you because there's a lot of talking going on. We got to read the Bible. What you got? Zephaniah, read that.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Bring it on. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
So it says, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire. No one out here is desiring to hang out with us. Because check this out. If you look at the neighborhoods, would they look like this if all the other nations wanted to be here amongst us? No. So it says we have to gather ourselves together under these commandments before the day of anger. What is the day of anger? That's before Christ returns. You got that Ezekiel?
Is it before he returns or when he returns?
Before. Because his returning is based on what we're doing. Because God gave us commandments to keep.
That's right. Wait a minute. Hold on.
There is no wait a minute.
No, you said his returning is dependent upon what we're doing.
Yes.
So can we?
Because he's not going to come back until we start keeping his commandments as a nation.
Wait,
It's not as individuals.
I
Because if
understand
that's the case, with all of these churches out here, and all of these people that go to church, no pun intended, with all of these people going to church, if that was the case, if all of these holy people going to church, why has not Christ come back? Think about that.
No, I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
In the book of Acts, the Bible said that the day appointed. Said nobody knows but the Father.
Yes.
So if the day is already appointed, there's no way you can keep that day from happening, depending on what you've done or what you're doing. If the day is appointed, it was appointed before you even came into the knowledge. So if the day is appointed regardless if you know or not, it's going to happen that day.
Exactly. You know what? You're right. No, you're right. Because the day was also appointed for us to go into slavery because God knew we were going to break the commandments. That's why he sent this guy right here to die for us because he knew who is this guy right here. The three of you, who is this guy right here?
Look, let me say this.
That's the same question. Who's this guy right here?
I don't know.
Okay, wait a minute. No, not yet. I'm still in the middle of speaking. I'll let you speak.
Okay.
That's why he sent this guy right here to die for us. Because he knew we were going to mess up.
nation of Israel. It's time to return to the Father.
Now why they trying to make it so hard to serve God? And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd? For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sound wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.